Join Planet Fitness today and get more epic energy and better sleep with tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs. Join for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 14th. It's glow time. See club for details.
Welcome to CoPlay Media, a look inside the world of video games, anime, and the Blerd community. And now, here are your hosts, Diers and Demo.
And welcome to CoPlay Media. All right. Yo, today we got a fantastic guest. Man, we got the man right here, David the Old Oliver. You've seen him from things such as Gotham, the television show, Deadly Sins, Simply Life, Triple X2, The Union, Die Hard 4, Wizards of Lies, and so much more, man.
I forgot all that.
You forgot all about that. See, I did some research, man. I'm not the best research, but I was in there,
brother,
man.
You got more than me. That's all I can say.
I seen him at Awesome Con. I went to Awesome Con. It was a fantastic experience, but when I was there, I saw a cosplayer who was just standing out above everybody else. Like, I had to tell you ahead of time because I wanted to make sure that you knew this moment because it was like a super cool, like teachable moment. Like first of all, I don't know what you were dressed up as. I got the pictures here, but it was like an old school, like what was that? Was that an old school like Goku? Was that
that's Monkey King, the Chinese folk.
Oh, yeah, that's the Monkey King.
So the original Son Goku.
With the
original Son Goku.
So what I try to do is I pick characters that I know people will recognize, but most likely no one's going to do on a regular.
Yeah.
And for a large black man, it's still like crazy. So part of my rep is anything Asian and there's a large black man in it, my whole crew already know that's Dave. They don't have to think about it. Even if I had a mask on, they know.
Gotta have it.
Yeah. So it's part of my
We already know who that is.
Man.
Right.
It was so fantastic. It was like when I was there and I was taking pictures, you know, it was like you and the whole crew there. I saw you had two female cosplayers with you.
Yeah.
I think, and there was like the Hercules from the Shazam dude.
Yeah, that's my man, Wendell Smith.
Yeah.
He made some of my early cosplay stuff for me when I started getting more into it. He made my Michael Jackson costume from The Wiz, the Scarecrow, which drove everybody crazy at the Michael Jackson celebration in Brooklyn with Spike Lee. And then he did my Meteor Man thing, which made Robert Townsend actually come on my page and start commenting.
Really?
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting it. And his exact words to me, and I was geeking. I'm at home telling Wendell, yeah, man, you need to tag yourself. And all of a sudden, boop, I said, bruh, look who hit me. Bruh. He said, I look good in that uniform. He said, uniform. So then I had a friend of mine named Denise who made my Show Enough outfit. And then the couple that's worked with me on my team, Phantom Stardom, made the Monkey King thing from scratch. The staff, the whole thing, the accessories.
Everything was tight.
And their name is Malika and Yustaf, and it's Core Koopa.
Core Koopa.
Yeah, they got it from one of the games, Mario Brothers.
Yeah. Koopa.
I love it.
Troopers.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you remember when they told me? I was like, I don't remember that, but okay, you got
Koopa
it.
Troopers.
That's it.
Little turtles that he wanted.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, you got me beat, bro. See, that's what I'm trying to say. I stay in my lane. If it's kung fu, I got you. Oh,
I'm not always. But it was an awesome moment. Like, we were taking pictures, we were posing, and it was like I saw you kind of like directing the others on how to pose and whatnot. And then I saw like there was like a goofy, like I could tell he was like a teen Spider-Man. And he was awkward and with the family. And you were like, it's okay, brother, come on in. Like, come on in.
The family?
Yeah, like you could tell, like he was with his family. He was like the only one. And like you brought him in and like you helped him pose. He couldn't pose or anything. Like he couldn't posture or nothing. And like you had to get him together. It was just great. I actually recorded. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh yeah, appreciate it because see the thing about it, the two ladies you referencing, we all came together. There's Paula Bannerman, Katri Mutha, Jamal Harris, Malika and Yusef Rahman, and then you have Enrique Fernandez, and you have Coy Morgan, who's actually the inspiration behind the movement, which is Phantom to Stardom, where we're trying to take what we do as legit entertainers and entrepreneurs and bring it to the con. Because for years, people have been asking me to do acting classes and do business classes. And I said, it's oversaturated. There's a bunch of people here, and I have one moral clause. I don't believe in cheating people.
Right.
And I want to get people that up and close experience, not that I'm up on stage, you down in the audience crap. No. You see me, know me, smell me, we good.
Get that energy.
Right.
Get that energy,
and the great example of what he's talking about with that young brother there was He was with his family. It was a random thing. We already had Wendell, who was dressed as the wizard from Shazam. My boy Brian is Moon Knight. And then we didn't realize it until I got home, the guy that's the Spider Dad that's big on the internet that came out with the Rock.
The Spunk Rock. Yeah, the Punk Rock Spider-Man.
Those two Spider-Mans made my moment because they prove what I was saying with Phantom of Stardom. Because this guy is already big on the internet, but he's digging the energy that I'm bringing him to give it a legitimacy. And then the young brother who didn't know, he was with his family and they looking like, and he's like, oh, what? And I said, no, brother, this is what I do for a living.
Right.
Follow my lead.
Yeah.
And I got him, and then he just felt so welcomed. And then the other gentleman got up like, man, I love your energy. And I was like, thank you. So to get it from two aspects, somebody who's seasoned and somebody who's inexperienced, that's the energy that me and my team wants to give to him. So Gaturi is the filmmaker. Paula is the STEM expert, web designer, and visual artist. And Jamal was the second camera you saw. He's kind of like my shadow man because he handles all the stuff for me off camera. And then Enrique is a vendor, so he teaches people how to do that. And then Corey is also a business owner, but he's a #1 cosplayer. He does his Captain America and Falcon mashup that just goes crazy. They still talking about him at Channel 9 News when we did it last year. So that's the whole team right there. And then Malika and Youssef, they're new. So they're designing clothes for plus size cosplayers.
Yeah.
So that's
was that the woman who was in the purple?
No, she came with us to the Japanese festival, not to AwesomeCon. And everybody went crazy for her stuff at the Japanese festival, her Lolita costume. Because her whole thing is doing cosplay with your religion. And it just freaks everybody out how she does it so seamlessly, you wouldn't even know. Like she does a great Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's hot.
You wouldn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a great thing. It was a great team of people to come together, and it's just, you saw it live direct, 2 different levels.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's why I love that you guys caught that, because I don't like to put it out there. I just like people to see it.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those things that was obvious. Like when I saw it, it was something that I wasn't seeing in the rest of cosplayers, you know, of anybody else. Like everybody else, I just had a different vibe and energy to them.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And cosplay is one of them things. Is like, if you're going to do it, do it.
You got to do it
all the way.
Right.
If you do it, don't half step. Don't put one toe into the water. No,
exactly.
Do it.
Yeah, 10 toes. And I love how you guys are steering this towards a business that becomes profitable, because that's something that, you know, as far as like cosplayers, I'm sure a lot of them don't know how to make money off of cosplaying.
You know it? And that's the thing I didn't know, because I was listening to some of the people, like I told Corey, when he did the Channel 9 News with me last year for the parade that I'm hosting, he was very good, but then he realized who he was talking to. And I thought the people that was working with me and him before told him. Because I've been trying to give the information away for 5 years. He did not know nothing. And when he said, man, wait a minute, all this time I've been looking at you on TV and I didn't know, I said, yeah. I've been trying to tell y'all for the last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm trying to tell you.
And I got the production so they can do whatever they want.
Right.
But it's been difficult to get that out there. So he kind of inspired me to tell me the truth about the con world and how these pretty girls that I'm thinking they making money, they doing it. He said, man, they on Twitch. That's the best they doing.
That's the best they doing.
And I was
Twitch,
like, really?
Or Patreon or something like that.
But see, to me, when I see that, I'm thinking of the young ladies that I work with who do high-end model, who do eye candy modeling, and they make a pretty good living either on mainstream media, like all those Macy commercials and stuff. I be with the young ladies, they be right across from me. I'm going in for something with Hennessy, they're going in something for that, and we right across from each other. And I be thinking, where are all these DC talented people at?
Oh, they're around.
They're around, but they don't know.
Me.
Yeah, they don't know.
No, but they claim to know. And that's the problem when they talk to me. And I think it's a little bit of, and some of my friends keep saying it's jealousy and envy. I don't like those words.
I mean that, and also posturing, like in the business. I only want to say, like in the business, there's a sense of you got to be looking like you got it together somewhere.
But as you see me, bro, I pulled up in an old '96 truck and I got my regular thing. I'll take my thing from Bill Gates on them. You don't need to know they in the gap.
You don't need to be flashy.
Yeah, you don't need to be flashing. You don't need to be flexing.
But my bank account, my parents are taken care of, so we good.
That's the main important thing. Right. Can you take care of your loved ones? You know, can you live a happy life, a happy, healthy life? That's the stuff that really matters.
And all I want to do is give these folks the opportunity to understand that I was right there with you guys. Whereas I wasn't deep into cosplay or to cons, but there were things from martial arts tournaments, TV shows, and that's where it came from. And then because I'm a Gemini, it's 2 parts. You got Michael Clark Duncan, who inspired me with the acting as a large black man who did something that wasn't stereotypical.
Right.
And the Green Mile was that. And then you have Bruce Lee on the other side with my physical attributes as far as movement and fighting. Because again, you have a small Asian man who's doing these magnificent things costumes for a man twice his size. So it was those things, and I just said, hey, if I can turn that into an actual career and business, why can't you?
That's crazy because I think a lot of them do need that guidance too. So it's great that you're out here trying to seek them out and bring them in if they'll have you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There you go. That was great. So because
if they'll have you.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like great word you used was posturing, because I think one of the guys on the team had said something similar, and I didn't really get it until we went somewhere and I experienced it.
Yeah.
Once the people realized who I was, it was like real quick. They shifted, and I was like, why they shifting, man? I didn't act like I was all this and that.
It's like an insecurity. Like they just realizing they
might expose.
But understand what I'm saying?
You might expose me.
Right, but again, this is for example, this is your show.
Right.
What would be a problem if you asked me some questions and I'd be off camera like, yo, they do this, they do that, y'all guys go do. That's it. It's still your show.
Right.
So at the end of the day, all you're doing is taking from me and I'm walking away.
Right.
It's still your show. So if I got my own show, that's fine. But if I share it with you, now we both on the same level.
Yes.
There's plenty of room for all of us here.
Exactly. Everybody can eat at the table.
That's it. That's the best way to say it. Plain and simple.
With that being said, man, where you from, man? I just want to hear it, man. I just want to hear it, man, so the people know.
Well, sometimes depending on where I'm at, my accent will come in. I'm actually from Northeast DC. I grew up on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of crazy. Lexington, please. Or better yet, what was around when I came up? 8th and H crew.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know nothing about that.
I grew up on the
Gang
southeast
lifestyle.
side.
Yeah.
Southeast side.
Oh, that very. Now I went to
Debo, I didn't know you were from Southeast.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
I was over there. I grew up
man.
on Ridge Road and 37.
But you didn't go to Blue, did you?
No,
See?
absolutely not.
You're like,
No. Yeah, we moved out of DC when I was like 8. So,
see.
Yeah.
See, he missed it.
Yeah, I missed it.
You missed it. You got out just in time.
But if I did stay and we lived in the neighborhood, I think my school would have been like Anacostia or something like that.
Ooh, I don't know if your mama would have did that one, boy. No, she want you to live.
Right.
So she wouldn't say that. Baloo would have gave you a fighting chance. Baloo Knight, 88. Oh, we got a thing coming up so much later.
Still got that spirit.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Gotta bring in that spirit, man. Gotta have. And so like and what was the event? I already know, but what was the event that you were just coming from today, or preparing for today?
Which one? I'm sorry, because there's so many that going on. I'm sorry.
Well, the one that I was mainly interested in was the parade.
Oh yeah, with the funk parade. I'm actually a grand marshal for that, and that came about 2-3 years ago. Because I used to do funk and R&B music, and then I would cross over to house music. Okay. And that's why I'm deep in the house nation. So a lot of people kept telling me about the event, and I didn't know about it until 2015. Randomly, I get up there on U Street, and I'm like, oh snap. So in 2016, I kept trying to get on board, and I couldn't want to just do a regular volunteer thing because I said they might need some more stuff. And then I got to talk to the whole creator, him and his team, and I just showed him I'm a team player. Didn't give a damn about who I was and what I did. I just like, this is what we need. Right. Y'all filling the void. Then we got to talking, and I said, well, who's your Santa Claus? Like, who's letting the people know to come into the parade? Because that's the thing. They're breaking that barrier. They're letting people come in the parade randomly.
Oh.
Really? So at the end, it's a dance party. So I'm talking to them. They said, we don't have nobody. I said, okay, I can do that. And that's when cosplay come into effect because they said they wanted funky, glamorous type stuff. I said, well, I know a whole bunch of cosplayers. This is what they do.
That would be tight.
They may be uncomfortable because they're used to only doing it in a con.
Yeah, they're only used to doing it in conventions,
But then when I talked to the cosplayers, they didn't quite get it. But when they came and they stood in front of Ben's Chili Bowl, it was a massive crowd.
Oh, it was by the Ben's Chili Bowl?
Yeah, they had no idea that they was gonna get that much love.
So
and they went
like a
crazy.
carnival type thing. Right.
And so I started off with 10 people, and it ended up being 100.
Wow,
that's tight.
You see, in a dance party, and everybody's clapping, and I had a guy on a gigantic tricycle, and I had music blasting, and so I was dressed as to keep the camaraderie. I was dressed as a scarecrow from The Wiz.
Okay,
and that just ignited because Prince, I think, had just passed. So I was doing a tribute to Prince and Michael. So it was a whole big thing.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That's
like
awesome, man.
Carnival type vibe. It sounds like
it's like an anime carnival parade type.
Get lit for the
in the public.
Yeah. Yo, that's tight.
So bring the cosplay out of the dark. Right. That's my whole thing.
Bring the cosplay to the people.
Yes. I even took it up to Spike Lee's event for Michael Jackson, and it went crazy. Everybody, even Spike and them couldn't believe it. And when I did the split on the stage, it really took all of
Doing the splits.
Got the flexibility, man.
Gotta represent. Gotta represent. Oh, and I think the other thing you're talking about, the project I just got rejected from.
Oh.
By being in great shape in my age, because black don't crack. 48, baby. About to turn 49. I can tell the truth.
That's crazy.
And so it was funny. They were looking for guys that used to play college football. And these guys were just wide. I mean, they looked like they played football when they had leather helmets. Not in the 90s, for Christ's sake. And so I walk in, I got on my shorts, my little shirts. I'm like,
they're like, you too healthy, bro.
I need me to, no, they were mystified. The whole room, because there's 8 people in the room, so guys were nervous. I told the lady that was signing me in, I said, well, don't worry about it. I'm a Magic Mike it. She took 2 steps and started laughing. Then she realized what I meant. And she's like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. I said, don't worry, I got you, baby. I went there first, lady said, well, you can go change behind the screen. I don't need you. You want to do it right here? And she was like, no. I said, all right, well, I put lotion on my feet. She didn't catch the joke. So I kept on going. I come out the room. I got on my briefs, because that's what I want you to wear. I'm like, all right. And this big husky guy gets up, old husky dude. He says, well, I'm going to warm you up. I'm looking like, really, dude?
Like, warm me up. Like, I'm like, hold up, cuz.
Respect is his job. It's his job. So when he does that, he says, can you get your knees up? My knee went all the way to my chest. Then he says something, can you touch the floor? And I was like so fast, the lady behind the mic didn't realize I heard him. She said, I wonder can he put his hands on the floor? Bam, palms to the floor. Wow. They still standing like, wait a minute, can you jump up? I did a 40-inch vertical. Wow. Almost hit the ceiling. So they were like,
you dunking right now? Can you dunk right now?
No, that was never my thing. My thing was always volleyball. Getting up over that net and doing that. And so then with using my thing for Kung Fu is just the elevation in light Kung Fu. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know about light Kung Fu. This is your weight versus the speed. So then they kept asking for all these poses and they were freaked out. I could get up on the ball of my foot and hold those poses. Wow. And then I told them, I just had a knee surgery and then I did a roundhouse kick over the guy's head.
Oh yeah,
so they ecstatic, going crazy. But
got
then
the skills on them.
I go the next day to another audition, and that's when I get the word. Before I go in that audition, they couldn't use you. They wanted to go with somebody that was bigger, and they ended up going with the guy around it. But they told us to make sure that we told you they loved you, wanted you, and they love your energy and personality, and your body type. I was like, okay, but I forget when it's medical, you have to look a certain way.
You got to.
Right.
And I'm not going to sacrifice my personal health anymore for
no,
this.
Hey, you don't need to be pulling off no 50 cents where you be getting super skinny and then back to super brolic.
No,
and then
I'm not going to stay fat because that's what they want at the age bracket that I'm in. You got to understand. I'm about to turn 49.
Oh, yeah. They're looking for the Uncle Phil.
Right. The guy that was there was the size of Uncle Phil. That's a great example. Yeah. Right? And I'm sitting there looking at him and he's sweating. And I'm like, bruh, we
sketchy.
big men. You can't come in like that. You got to keep the sweat down.
You got to stay calm.
Listening is what we want.
3 strikes. 3 strikes to get you going.
Look how to glisten, baby. None of that sweat. None of the sweat. It's not sexy, okay? Only Idris can get away with that.
And can you tell me about your experience with? Well, I want to go into like how you got started with acting, and then I want to talk about your experience with Gotham.
Okay, all right.
But first, I want to hear the beginning story. You know, the intro. How did it all begin with the Great O?
I'll be honest with you, man. Everything I ever done was purely by mistake.
Okay.
And to help someone else out. Mm-hmm. Great example, the building we were in. I started off here with the legitimacy of my career as a dancer on BET's Planet Groove. Okay. And me and my friend at the time, he and I was doing music, and we just trying to find an outlet to get us out there. Mm-hmm. And we came here. They just let us come in, but he didn't make it. I did, because he kept trying to do like the other cool guys like we were talking about earlier, trying to blend in.
To fit in.
We go to a club called the Mirage. I don't know if you guys know about that. It's one of the roughest clubs in the area, but when it came to house music, hip hop, go-go, it was the spot. Right. So we had a particular style of dancing to the point that Coolio and his team stole our style of dancing for their music video. Wow. So I told him, bruh, do like we do on Friday night. Everything I ever get is always what I did on Friday night. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's what you really
I'm jumping around dancing with 20 women in the room. I'm getting in. I'm talking smack to the host. I ain't even know who she was. Wow. I just didn't care because my mother owed me some money, so I had an attitude. I'm like, God, man, doing it. And it just ended up. They called me like 2 days later. All they did is say, "Please don't wear what you had on the audition."
Bring everything else. Everything else is fine.
Hey, bro, Northeast. I went in with some dirty Timbs, my sweatpants, and a windbreaker and a t-shirt.
No.
He tried to be like everybody else with a denim outfit.
Denim outfit,
cute.
trying to be super cute. Nah, you came in there thugging it.
Whatever. Then I had to bring his dumb butt in there, and then we met Beyonce and them before they started off with Destiny
back
Child.
when it was Destiny Child?
Yeah.
Back when
So
it
we
was
started getting
extras
more
in
and
the
more
video.
serious as we met more celebrities here.
Extras?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It was a whole different phase.
I didn't even know.
With them, that was crazy. It was them, the Locks. What's her name? Deborah Cox came through.
Okay.
Babyface and his wife came through. They
Yeah.
actually asked us about our dance routines and wanted to work with us.
Yeah.
And it was Boosie Collins was the one who really woke me up.
Really?
Because again, I'm trying to do funk blended with house, and so we were at a certain point, kind of like how LMFAO does. That's the
Okay.
level where Intense was my band name. And so we started doing that. We got rid of the band. It was just the two of us. And then it got to the point where once we did the Apollo, the music got loved, I got loved, he got booed. So then it was a thing of like,
Dang.
what do we do? And I kept telling him, let's go back to what you do best. Because he went to Duke Ellington. He has all the skills.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
No, he does. And he's a great musician and artist. So I didn't. I'm learning from him and others, but I wanted to, as a fan, and this is why I talk about fandom and stardom again. Let me go back to that. As a fan, I'm saying you want to be the next what? And I'll say, okay, let me go and research that because my day job is to research at the patent office, okay? So I go and I do that, and I come back to you with a plan. Now we're going to start this plan.
Okay.
Okay? Then where do you end up at? Now, as a fan, I'm like, this is a great opportunity. I can't let it go to waste. Let me find the next person. Damn, nobody's there. Okay, shoot, who's going to do it? I got to do it. My name's on the line.
Right.
I done hooked this all up.
Right.
Bam, now I'm on stage. David Oliver.
Hey.
Plain and simple.
Hey.
And that was the group right there with Intense. And then that spilled over into the acting. Same thing, trying to get our music onto somebody else's soundtrack. The thing about martial arts fight sequences, that's what got him hot. And I was an independent film in Baltimore. And next thing I know, he said, well, can you fight? I said, yeah, but I just haven't done it on screen. And of course, my partner at the time and a friend of mine, they both went to school for acting. So they all knew. So he knew what to do. She knew what to do. They walked in like actors. I walked in character. Hair slicked back, long trench coat, gigantic broadsword on my back, colored eye contacts. He said demons.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Slaying demons.
You know what the first thing I said? Who do I fight? Whole room froze because I forgot. Again, I'm 6'6", 300 at the time.
Oh yeah. You can't be walking in like, who's next? You can't be doing that.
Dude,
you can't
Bruce
be doing
Lee's
that.
in my brain.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm in my brain. I'm a small Asian man.
Light on your
Named
feet.
Lee Kumo.
You know.
That's my name, Lee Kumo.
Lee Kumo.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where my mind went when he said, let's do the fight sequences. I'm like, now I'm Lee Kumo. I'm walking in the door. I'm not thinking Michael Clark Duncan at that point because you said fight sequence.
Right.
Yep.
And it just steamboated into that. And then long story short on that end was production. I got with another young lady who became my business partner. And through her, we came up with the great idea of Magnificence Production. Because the saying I used to say, which was, welcome to the Magnificence. Her rawness. Got it in there, baby. And people started coming to us when we went over to DCTV. And on her recommendation, I was letting them handle it. But now I got frustrated. I'm like, you guys, I'm putting out all this money. We're not moving fast enough. So then I started taking the classes. And I took the lighting, sound, location, producing, editing, directing, all that within a month. And now I'm back at them like, yo, what are we going to do? Let's go. They're like, I said, no. I was right with you. I scored at 95% everywhere. Y'all dudes went to college. She went to work. What time is it? Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Next thing you know, people get jealous again because they got complacent and people started coming at me and I said, no, you know what? It still is your show.
Well, I mean, that's how you know
backing
how you doing something right is when people are hating on you for real. Like, that's how you know you're doing the right
Especially in your
path.
own city, too, man.
Especially
Something
in
about your own
Chocolate City, man.
But it's worse when it's people that you're supporting.
Right.
And you're in the midst of this. It's
Right.
not, it's one thing if you did it at the beginning, then I get it. But we're right here in the middle of it. We
Right.
got the thing rolling. I don't care about titles and credit.
Right.
All I want is good work.
Right.
That's the end of it. And then we flipped over. And then when we did a couple of projects, the shows got picked up. I got picked up. And then out of that, my current management, who used to be my mentee, she started off in New York with Comedy Central.
Okay.
Did an internship there.
Wow.
Then they had pitch meetings. And so I drafted up a couple of TV shows and reality shows and went up there, had a pitch meeting. They was moving us over to TBS and TNT because of Tyler Perry.
Nice.
They liked our concepts. But Tony was the one who actually went to school. So she's now the solid part.
Right.
But then she fell apart. because it's something we had home. So I was like, So now we can't lose this opportunity. So then the young lady moves over to this young lady named Wyndham, who was handling the Oliver Stone film. I go up. I said, I'm just an actor. Okay, whatever. And next thing I know, signed with the management, started going to New York on a regular basis.
Wow.
So it's been about 11 years now.
That's funny how things happen, man. Yeah. Sometimes they always work out in the end.
How God makes a way.
And like I can be honest and say it's about like 7 or 8 people besides the new 8 that you guys met that actually listen to me or crazy enough to listen to me and have done something. That's my current management, my current director that do all my demos and my promos. LaTanya, what's up? Her Rawness is one of the baddest female rappers out here who has her own record label now.
Female rapper, really?
Yeah, because when she consults, man, she doesn't play. This girl is vicious, and I've been supporting her ever since, And then you have Natalie, who plays my wife in the NFL commercial. She's real cool, and I had to get her out of DC too. I was saying, Nat, you got too much going on. Yo, let's go. They want you in New York. She didn't believe it or really understand until she talked to the manager directly, and they made a connection, and then she's been off. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. And I got young mentees here, but I try to keep my group small.
Trying to keep it small. Yeah. And could you tell me about the part that you played in Gotham? I believe, who was the part that you played with? Because I remember you in there and you were like, I don't want to get it wrong. I think, were you on the Penguin side? Like you were working for Penguin?
See, that's the magic of it all. That's the mystique of what I present as the O. There was no room for me. Literally, all my character was supposed to do was to stand there. But because the way I talked to at the audition.
Yeah, they were like, we got to keep
what I'm saying? And because I was sick, I allowed it to play. Because again, like I tell people, when they give you descriptions, do your best. You ain't got to be exact. But once again, 50% of it is, do you look like the person that's in their head? Okay? 10%, do you got the work ethic? Another 10%, do you got the talent? Now, I didn't say acting. I just said talent. And then another 10%, can you adapt? So notice I hadn't got to the acting yet. That's very small. That's 10%. Out of 100. So now you're just like, wow. And then the other 10% is really, if my math's off, guys, pardon me. But 10% is that X factor, that thing that crosses
that
over.
glow.
So that day, I sound like the dude from 5 Heartbeats, like Eddie Kane Jr. Like,
you had like nobody see like you had the vicious rasp on. You had the vicious rasp.
Like, I don't know what we're gonna do about this. And I couldn't help it because I was sick. I'm sitting there sucking down, lodges and tea and whatnot.
Throat not working.
And the wind is blowing, and then I get upstairs and I see these 2 big Latino guys, and I'm thinking we all going for the same thing, but they coming in for the Quantico show. So that's when it hits me. I'm like, yo, man, you going up for some legit stuff now, Jack. That's Quantico. Because they had on the camouflage. They were smart. I walked in the t-shirt, but I went to the bathroom after I signed in, changed to my sports coat, my collared shirt, black jeans. I just stood there swole, right? All the other brothers had on t-shirts and long john shirts. I'm like, are we all reading for the same thing? Because it says sketchy security guard in an alley.
That's
downtown Gotham.
Like that's not sketchy.
Not even that. Do you watch the show? And that's another thing I tell people. Do your research. Watch the shows because there's a template that they go by. And every guy on that show, even my man, y'all might know him. His name is Sean Ringgold. He played most recently. On the show on BET where they play in the Family Gangsters. But y'all might know him in the con world as Sugar from Luke Cage.
Sugar. Yeah.
Now, he was on the season in front of me on there playing in a couple episodes with Jada Pinkett at the Psychiatry Award or whatever they were at. And when I saw him and I said, okay, Sean's a big dude like me. So I paid attention. I said, these big dudes come out dressed on this show, so you can't walk in this room just plain gear. And I walked in, man, had everything ready. And she asked me to read 3 times. Once I got my 3rd clear, boom. You know what I'm saying? And then that was just to play the guard to stop Bruce Wayne from going into the club.
That's what it was.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody kept saying that, and I couldn't say nothing in real time because everybody kept saying, wait a minute, are you with Jada Pinkett? Are you with the Penguin?
I know I've seen anything, man.
Like, and I had to stand there.
I've seen them.
Right, and people say nothing. Right, and then people think I'm Chi McBride, so I always do that, you know what I'm saying? Or Forrest Whitaker, whenever my left, I go like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I was trying to tell somebody about you, and I was like, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a younger, slimmer version of what's his name? You guys ever watch Boston Public?
Yeah, that's Chief McBride.
Yes,
That's Chief McBride.
Yes, yes. Like you
That's
remind me of a younger version of him. Like, you got a hairline. Like that's the difference. So you got the hairline
Still got
strong.
your hair.
But you still give the same,
Yeah,
teacher,
and that's the thing.
vibe.
It's him, Forrest Whitaker, and what's the other gentleman's name? I was just watching the other day. I forgot his name, Jesus. But, these guys are plus-size men or husky build who gives you that energy that you can see them as a romantic lead, a comedic person, or just a character. Yeah.
I mean, you see him as a real person.
And they don't do no work. And that's what I love about it. So I started following that kind of tutelage. And so on that show, that's what I was projecting. And what people don't understand, the funny thing behind that was am I saying it right? The Amish? The guys
Amish?
The guys with the okay.
Yeah.
They were tracking me from my trailer to my set. And then we looked up. It was a wall of them. I had took my glasses off so I can do my scenes. So we doing the test run. I put the glasses back on. It was a wall of black, and it was all these Amish dudes.
Man, that sounds like some Children of the Corn.
Yeah, I would be
freaking
Yeah.
And just about 20 feet above our heads, me and the guy David, that's his name. His name is David. I'm David. That played Bruce Wayne. All we hearing is, and we look up on the on the subway platform. People are taking pictures.
Wow.
They thinking I'm somebody. He's gone, but they still take pictures of me. I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? But we in front of a real seedy bar that looked like they killed people in that basement.
Oh yeah,
man, they go serious on that show.
That's in there. Speakeasies.
That was a real
Speakeasies.
Yeah. It looked just like that.
With that being said, is there a show like because I'm a fan of a lot besides anime? What is really good? Game of Thrones is really hot right now. American Gods is really hot right now.
Yeah.
We already talked about Baki last show. You know what I'm saying?
You said Baki?
Baki.
Yeah, I love Baki.
Oh, you seen it before?
Yeah.
You know about Baki?
I told everybody I compare myself to Mr. Oliver.
Yes.
Yes,
I love it.
and they just did an entire tribute to Muhammad Ali that I love.
Yes,
that
they did
episode was fabulous. At first, I was kind of upset.
I'm rooting for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Trust me, you still got to see it.
You still got to see it. You got to see it. It's tight.
Nobody can explain
Truth
it.
is, Baki has no plot. Let's be real.
Oh no, there's no plot whatsoever.
No. They're trying to keep up with what happened in the 90s when they did the original. Right. But I feel like they got lazy with the animation because back then they gave different dimension to every fighter, which gave you some kind of dramatic build. Right. Now all of a sudden everybody's solid. And I'm like, no, he was slender, which made him so strong and it made it impressive that he could do that.
They could do all the moves and everything.
He gave all the whole
and let me give a shout out to my trainer, Game Time Fitness, my boy Burrow, because I turned him on to it, and he was fascinated with the original. And then I said, look at the new one that's on Netflix, and he went crazy. So it's like me even talking about it. We actually employed some of that into our routine. So now he got me working with my kids.
Oh yeah. Like the moves and man.
So your question was,
my question is there a show or a movie or any kind of anime where you want a voice actor acting right now? Like if you could choose something, if they could just bestow the part upon you right now, and just like, would you just jump on like, Marvel, or would you just jump on like you want something in, what would it be like?
To be honest with you, I'm kind of abstract when it comes to my choices, and I would say if they were allowed for a comic book character, first thing would be there's Moon Knight that comes to mind.
Okay,
but then I really love watching the old episode of Static Shock on CW.
Yes.
And when they brought the future version of Static Shock, and he kind of looked like Nick Ashford. That's what I would like to do. I would love to do that. Man. And it's funny, that's how Gotham came about, because I kept telling my manager, I didn't want to go out for Power, I didn't want to go out for Scandal, because those shows to me didn't do right for big men.
Right.
And I said, I want to be on shows like Minority Report, Gotham, The Flash. And as soon as I said that, 2 weeks later, here they come with Gotham. And then the movie, see, I wrote my own because I know it would be impossible for them to allow me to do it. But I always wanted to do a remake of 5 Deadly Venoms.
Oof. The 5 Deadly Venoms.
To play Toad.
Oh, my God.
I always wanted to play Toad. That was always my character.
Classic.
Yeah, so part of my actual martial art technique is his, being able to take the punches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Mantis Fist was a little bit what I got of, and then Jeet Kune Do. Yeah.
That's super tight, man. That's super tight. Geez, what kind of events are you going into the future? Now, I know there's some things that you can't tell us right now because of legal mumbo jumbo. Yeah. I just want to know about what hot stuff that you got coming out here right now.
Well, the one thing I just found out yesterday morning that I actually booked a TV show. I had to go on Friday, and I don't think I got clearance yet. And then the team and I are just trying to find different cons that allow us to come in. The first part is, we come as a team to tell you about what we did and our experiences, how to come along. And in the second half, we actually give con goers an opportunity because we're going to bring legit agents and managers down. Yeah. And what they do in the acting world, they do an acting showcase. Yeah. So you would come, do your demonstration, you give your headshot and your resume, and if they like you, they'll critique you, and then they want you, they'll get you right there, and then they'll take your information up to New York, and then the rest is up to you to get to and from. Right. So you think about it, for $50.
That's worth it.
That's an opportunity to be
for real and
who you actually dressing up as. Like I told Corey, when he talked to me, that was what amazed him. I was on Gotham. I was next to De Niro, like I'm talking to you. Michelle Pfeiffer was in the scene with me. I had to say hi to Michelle Pfeiffer. And then for you con goers, did y'all remember Tank Girl?
Yes. Tank Girl, of course I remember Tank Girl.
That's who was with me on Gotham. So can you imagine? I'm this sort of movie 2 weeks prior. It was on some random channel. I caught it. I love it. I'm walking down the street. She gets out the car. They say, "Oh, hi, Lori. This is Dave Oliver." She holds my hand. Wouldn't let me go. We walking down the street. Can you just imagine me walking down the street with Tank Girl, boy?
Oh man!
Can you imagine that?
Watching, I be like, oh.
Now,
I be smitten, yo. I be smitten.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something, player. I came out. I went back to Dave Lipscomb so fast. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
I'm about to say, because how is she in real life? Because that character,
she probably tiny. She real super tiny.
Yeah, she's average height. She's not slim. She's just an average build woman, and she's got a great physique for her age. And I'm like blown by that. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her. We're walking to the trailer, and they gave me the wrong trailer. They gave her
they upgraded you on that.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, right. And I'm walking with her, and she just was holding her hand. And then it was so funny. They had to take me back to the other one, and that's when the Amish guys came tracking us. And then we at the bar, she comes back, and I don't know what made me say it. I was almost done with my shoot. I knew I was gonna get in trouble, but I didn't care. I was mic'd. I said, "Hey, you know I still got a crush on you, right?" And she looked at me like, your shot. She gonna look at me. That's good. I said, "Yeah." I was doing my midnight DJ voice on my DJ.
Bringing the quiet storm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
boy, I was like, "What you did?"
Like, yeah, girl, you still like to ride those tanks? Or what?
Yeah. I wasn't playing that. I'll grow some ears for that in a minute because she's still fine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then Michelle Pfeiffer, oh my God, when she walked past, I didn't know she was on the set. The only person I knew that was there was Hank Azor from The Simpsons and Couples Retreat. But then they kept saying, oh, Dave's Bobby's body double. I don't know who's Bobby. I didn't see it. I was in a separate trailer from all the extras because they're going another route. We're going another way. Okay. And I'm going into a real prison in upstate New York. Okay. My upbringing is flashing back. I'm like, what the hell am I going to tell?
Yeah, like I ain't going back.
We go, and the next thing I know, Michelle Pfeiffer walks by because they made the clearance for her like it was the Queen of England. I'm like, who is this? All of a sudden, bam, she walks by and say, oh, did Catwoman? And I turn to the real officer because she looks at me. Hello, officer. She thought I was like him. I'm already pissing because I'm like, if somebody gets down, they're going to shoot me. They're not going to believe I'm an actor because everybody else look like actors in the costume. I'm looking for real. And so when she said, I'm like, oh, hi, how you doing? My handler is sitting right there, and I just said, hey, did Catwoman just walk past me? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, snickety snap. Yo. She had a Chinese bob, and she still cut like she was in Greece. I was like, oh, I don't want to do what? I was ready, man. You couldn't tell me jack. And then I got a chance to talk to her, man. And I was like, oh, no, thank you, Queen. How are you? Oh, I don't know, player. It just comes out, player.
We can bring it out. Smooth with it, man.
Brother.
Keep it player.
Brother.
It's super smooth.
Brother.
In fact, you put us on some game. Like, in fact,
Catwoman.
Like, is there, because you also do, besides the acting, the producing, the range of things that you do, you also teach. You teach, and, you know, I was hoping, you know, that while we got you, we can take advantage of it, get some lessons, you know.
That's the whole point of why I'm here, brother.
Oh, man. So if you can hit us with, like, you know, is there any way that we can review some acting exercises with us that can help, like, improve on our interviews with other guests?
Well, okay. So what do you feel like? Here's how it starts, like I was telling everybody. Knowing yourself first. That's the first and foremost. And then secondly, the second important thing, being honest with yourself. Right. Know your strengths, but at the same time, know your weakness. Okay? And then third, know where you are. Because there's levels to this. Yeah. There's no question. I couldn't be sitting there talking about Sean, and I actually had the same conversation with Remy Ma when she first came home from jail.
Remy Ma, yeah.
Okay? So you got to think, you don't know me. Right. But you see Remy Ma and me and Sean and her and all these other people that I'm surrounded by, I'm taking the knowledge from them and bringing it back to you. Yeah. So once you tell me where are the areas you guys want to improve upon? That means you at least know your weakness. So give me an area you want to start from.
As far as research, I'd say preparing for you, the hardest thing that I could do is I went to your website, I looked at some of your stuff, I try to find you online, but I'd say that my research is probably the weakest part on my end.
All right, and from a producer standpoint, how you can nip that in the bud is first and foremost, go back to what I just said. Know yourself. What is the niche of this show? What is special about this gathering? When we say the name of the show, say the name of the show.
CoPlay Media.
Nah, say the name of the show.
CoPlay Media.
No, say the name of the show.
CoPlay Media.
Thank you. That starts off right there. Saying the name like you want people to remember it.
Yes.
Again, David the O. Oliver. There's a reason why the is there instead of just O.
Oh.
I'm a word, not a letter.
Yes.
Part of my brand is that I'm a word. I make you say, oh snap. Oh, no, he didn't.
Yes.
Every sentence starts like that.
Okay.
Or they'll say Dave, Div. So it came that, and it all started off from karaoke. Because it was too many Daves, and they said, what's your name? I said, Oliver. The lady said, I'm going to call you O. So instead of saying Tupac in the song with DJ Cool goes, I say two, you say Pac. I say Dave, you say O. And Dave, at the end, I scream, oh. Yeah. And everybody started screaming it. And I said, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. Oh, Thundercats. Lion-O. I can do that voice all day. By Jaga Slarf. You see? So that came out, and then it became David the O. And then David Oliver.
Love it.
So now, how do we say CoPlay Media?
CoPlay Media.
Don't copy. See, you got to work on what generates from your audience as well as yourself. So you have to feed them different things and sort of gets that information becomes a collective.
Yes.
So that's first and foremost. So then you figure out the niche of the show. Like, what is it great about your guys' interview? Why is it important to you to do the interviews and not the other people in the hallway? Right? That's first. Then you say, where are we at? And where do we want to go? Who do we want to be with? Breakfast Club, Sway in the Morning, The Read, Kevin on Stage.
Glad TV.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to figure those angles out. And then people keep saying, I'm unique. No, you're not. I work at the patent office. Do you know how many forms of cigarettes I see a day?
Exactly.
You know how many people reinventing the wheel over and over?
And I have to prove it every day.
Yeah,
all the
there's
time.
nothing
One
new
day I
under the
got
sun.
about 1,000 requests for different types of tobacco. Wow. So that should tell you about uniqueness in the world.
Right.
Okay? The unique thing, and it's about, you always hear people say, timing, luck, skill. Putting yourself in the right place at the right time. That's it. That's where you got to start. So once we get to the niche of the show, what's the niche of the show?
Niche of the show is a minority perspective on anime and video game industry.
Okay, that sounded cool and cute. But however, what made it special?
What made it special? I get to run around and talk to guys like you.
Right. So then,
with my homies like
so
him.
now watch this. So now you're depending on your guest. You see the difference?
Oh.
See that is hit you is now? So if I wasn't here, who could be here to be just as interesting because of you? See, what you saw me doing at Awesome Con to that young man that you speak of, I made him just as cool as the experienced Spider-Man who's online. That's really big. Because that's my job, is to make you cooler. So when I go out there and you see me in an AutoZone commercial holding that alternator, okay, that's 20 pounds in my hand. I'm holding it smooth as ice. Okay, that's a reason why that director let me do that. And that was a young black brother who had us in a big warehouse with about 20 white people and Latinos working for him. Wasn't about his blackness. See the difference? It was about his skill set and his way of doing his vision. And when he heard my voice and how much I love about my classic car that I sold so my mom could pay for their house, that's what got him. You see what I'm saying? Presentation of self.
Yeah.
You have to know your niche. Mine is loud and outrageous, LAO. That's my thing, loud and outrageous. Once we figure it out for CoPlay Media, we can rock and roll.
I'd love to,
So your form of interviewing is the first thing you guys have to think about. That's the niche.
Okay.
That's your specialty. Then you can see how the guests feel that. You see what I'm saying? Because without that, I can come on here and talk 20 times. It still won't make nothing. It'll just be about me.
it'd just be about you all day.
And then everybody like, oh, I don't know them.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, them guys are cool, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we got to think. Because at Awesome Con, there wasn't a lot of people. And the reason why I came to you and the other young lady who came to me about her podcast was that you guys presented yourselves in a way that made me say, okay, they're not going to be suffocating themselves. They want to expand.
Yes.
I felt that.
Right.
You didn't have to tell me.
Yes.
And in that vein, I can tell you where to go network and market yourself to get an audience, and then how to go and do that. Because if you're out and about now, you can trump everyone. Because everybody wants to stick on the internet. That's cool. That's cute.
Right.
But the interaction with the people
is really what matters.
And that's what you guys are.
Yeah.
You're already there.
Yeah.
But now you got to make your presence even bigger when you get there. Like this, stand in one spot. 'Cause that's typically what you saw us do. We would find one spot.
And you bring the people to
that
you.
was it.
Build it, and they
Even
will
the
come.
kids from Urban Jedi. Shout out to kids from Urban Jedi in Philly, because they came over, had no idea I was going to give them a stunt lesson on how to do their thing.
For real.
And my boy just said, "Hey, would y'all guys want to take on the Monkey King?" And I'm standing there with the big staff, like
Yo.
and as soon as they said something, the lights came on in the outfit. The tail lit up and the staff lit up. Everybody, yeah, he won. So yeah, this is just those things. No, I'll take from the top. Knowing yourself first, know your strength and weakness, adapt to the weakness, make the weakness the strength.
Yeah, being able to pivot.
Always stay there. Don't never walk away from the weakness, because that's where you always get your drive.
Embrace it.
And then understand the levels. And then 4, know exactly where you want to go, and do your best to emulate it, but not copy it. There's a difference, and that's a fine line that you have to figure out.
Gangster.
Okay.
It's your show now, Jay. Take over. CoPlay Media.
Yeah, I need to start saying it like that.
But see, that's my thing, because I knew if I say it like that,
That's cold.
you see what I'm saying?
That's cold.
Just something simple that feels like you. So that's the O.
So my school's over. My next question is going to be: what ways is there that your acting class or the lessons that you provide can help us or people in general in their everyday life? How can acting or
question.
just how can we bring it into our everyday experience?
Well, and that's part of what Fandom Stardom is all about. That's why I have a team of people who are cosplayers as well as owners of businesses. Like Corey Morgan has Face Painting Company. He's very popular. He's always working. You have Enrique Fernandez, who has the comic book and toys thing, and he has this niche. And then you have Jamal Harris, who's like a multitasker when it comes to production. You have Katuri Mutha, who's working on her thing as far as an up-and-coming film producer. Then you have Paula Bannerman, who's experienced with webs, design, visual artist. That's what she knows as DC artist. Okay. And she also designed the website that you saw.
Yeah.
And then you have LaTanya, who's also like our director. So she's done the SCAD and different schools, and she was one of my mentees when we was at DCTV. And then you have the new rookies, as I like to call them, the dynamic duo, the couple, husband and wife team, Malika and Youssef Rahman, and they're doing Ramadan. I'm sorry, guys. See y'all when you get done. And they're doing their thing with clothing. So we all came together, and I told them, another young lady hit me to it by doing branding in corporate America. And she said what I was saying for acting classes will work for branding in corporate America, which is, again, those 4 techniques I told you about just a minute ago. That's how it applies, because even if you go into a job interview, you got to present yourself.
Yep. Right.
And I've been offered by different organizations to show the kids how to do this. I have 2 young mentees. I have Dejanelle Grimes and Leah Nelson, who also does it, and that's what I showed them. So Dejanelle just got accepted to 3 different colleges. You know what I'm saying? And she was deep into anime, but she didn't know where to go. And I showed her some different techniques. I got her to work on her voice, because she has a lovely speaking voice, and she does poetry, and she also is a visual artist. Right. But she didn't know how to present it. And then Leah had this feisty attitude, but again, it was raw. I had to put it into a nice, compact routine. And then so when she talks to people, they feel her maturity. Now she's kind of like the old woman in the room, but she's only 15.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I show people, like, take these techniques that I do with acting or production, period, and you can use them in your everyday presentation. When you hand somebody the resume, it needs to look a certain way. Like I just showed you mine earlier, right?
I was like, wow, this is great.
Right.
Yeah, your resume is fire, cuz.
Right, and then the pictures, I talk to people who have businesses, and they take pictures for their businesses, but then they look so, what's the word I want to say? Just cookie cutter. They don't know how to bring their personality forward. And most of the best speakers, as I've studied, a lot of them say the best ones are the ones who engage in the audience that breaks that barrier. Like if you're at the podium, get off the podium.
Right.
Take the mic.
Walk away from the podium.
Go down to the audience.
Crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I was asked for a wireless mic whenever somebody asks me to speak, because I don't like standing up there. I want you to be into me. I'm into you. And I always say to people, no question is a stupid question. That's the number one thing. Don't be afraid. Don't look around the room. Because I remember an incident with me and Professor X. I don't know if y'all remember, what's the group? Public Enemy. I'm sorry. Thank you,
Public
Kyle.
Enemy, yes.
Thank
yes.
Kyle. Yeah, so he was speaking at Howard University. I just got home from the Marines, and he was in the room. Room was packed. Long story short, he asked everybody about their names, and everybody talking about their African name versus their slave name. And he asked one question: who in here proud of their name? And I'm at the back of the room. It was stadium style seating, so I'm at the back, so I can see about 8 to 10 people across the room did this, and they was about there, and then they looked at their friends and dropped down.
Yeah.
I'm the only one in the back with my hand up. And he looked at me, brother, you proud of your name? I said, yeah. My name is David Oliver Lipscomb, and it was given to me by my grandparents, and I build a life on it, and I'm not about to change it for no one.
Right.
Because of some poised person telling me, you need to call yourself some Wakawa.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's not my spirit.
Your name should be Running Water Bear. You know what I'm saying?
That's not my spirit, brother. My name is David, and that's what I'm stuck with, and I love it, and I work it, and I make it proud for myself.
Right.
So I always say that to people. The same energy. Control your personality. Control how you put it out there. Again, knowing yourself. Branding. Once you see what the people gravitate towards, stick with it. Don't fight it. Because when you start fighting it, you lose. I did that for years and I lost.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth
genuine after that too.
Yeah.
No, and to a degree it still is, because you're saying, oh, I'm this, and that you guys love it. No, if they don't love it, they don't love it.
Right.
If they love it, why are you going against it? Why fight it? I had so many people keep changing their selves. I tell them, look, you keep changing, I guarantee you're not going to have nothing at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Every time, 1 year, somebody come back, Dave, you still, and I'll be like, yeah. I don't have selective amnesia. I remember. I remember everything.
Like I couldn't.
I remember losing hundreds of dollars behind you. Yes, I've spent $10,000s of dollars on people.
And I guess the $10,000 question would be: as a minority, what advice do you have for the youth that are trying their hand at acting, cosplaying, voice acting, just trying to get into the industry? We know it's fierce, voice acting, I can't even begin to imagine. But acting itself has got to be way harder.
No, actually, voice acting is what all the actors covet. It's a coveted spot we all fight for.
Really?
Because again, we don't worry about what we look like.
Yeah.
We don't worry about how much we weigh. We don't worry about what we wear. We
just
got a sound. But like I tell a lot of people who say, oh, I got a great voice. People tell me I got a great voice. I said, but you still got to learn how to act. You have to invoke emotions in the audience. So you got to be like, yeah, when I was 12 and it just darkened my spirit when he came in and then it was a loud sound. You got to give them something. You can't just, I got a great voice.
Right.
I rolled out of bed. No, you got to give them something. But I'll say what a young lady told me, Twinkie Blerd, who's a casting director that worked with Spike Lee and all these people. First thing, walk away from minority. Walk away from people of color.
What?
Don't consider yourself that. Because you're then limiting yourself. I'll tell you something. Every role I ever got in the beginning of my career when I started going legit was originally written for a white man. Wow. And on the CFC campaign that I did for the federal government, I became the spokesperson across the entire region. And I met the gentleman who was supposed to be playing the lead. Okay? The thing that he told me that got him about me was that not only because I was a real government employee, but because the way my energy was, that it just surpassed my size as well as my race. And he could see it. And so could the casting people. So every time I went out, it was always a white man role. So that's why I say, walk away from that. Don't walk away from it internally. You know who you are.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know who you are.
But don't limit yourself into the aspect of that's all I got.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to you real quick before we go. I don't even know if it's really like the most important thing, really. But I wanted to talk about how Gotham made Batman and Joker responsible for each other's origin.
Well, that's a tick. I found out from the producer that night. The show was never about Batman.
It was never about. It was supposed to be about the city of Gotham.
Nope.
What?
It was always from Jim Gordon's perspective.
Yeah.
From Jim Gordon's
and I met the man that played him. I'm gonna tell you, that guy was so intense, man. He never broke character.
Never.
Even when the girl asked him what he wanted for dinner, right? She said, "Well, what do you want for dinner?" He said, "What do you guys got?" She says, "We got split pea soup and chicken noodle soup." He's like, "Give me the split pea soup." I mean, the boy never broke. And when the producer told me what was happening, and he honestly gave me the 411 on what was happening with Minority Report before anybody knew, he knew it was canceling. Because I said to him, I just got finished telling my director my manager about 2 weeks ago, I want to be on your show. So it's funny, I'm here. And when he told me the truth, man, it was just wild. So he gave me the lowdown. It never had nothing to do with Batman. That's why people kind of was 50-50 on it, because they didn't know when it was coming.
Yeah.
But they started slipping it in. That's the reason why some of these prequels kind of mess up something.
I mean, you kind of do see Gordon as like the main primary hero around him. You know what I'm saying?
And to meet the rest of them in what they call the Hall of Heroes, I met Penguin, and I met the guy that played Jim's partner. And then the young lady who's his wife in real life, she was actually pregnant, and she kept trying to figure out who I was. And And then I met Cat Girl, and it was just funny because they all kept trying to figure out who I was. They thought I was some cameo special guest person. I guess they probably thought I was Chi McBride. So I was
Sing somewhere.
or if I was Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
The Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
We strip away his power. Challenge for King T'Challa's roar. You know, I just couldn't. I'm sorry, his accent killed me. He was the worst ones. Everybody else was perfect.
Oh, everybody. Hey, Chadwick Boseman was on point, man.
I like
I'm
Forrest
sorry.
Whitaker's accent.
Oh, okay.
He was, he was reaching. We all let it go because it was him. You know
Because
what I'm
King of
saying?
Scotland was much better. And I did that when I first started off.
Yeah, it was
as one of my
much
monologues. I did the scene from King of Scotland. And to a degree, you can sound almost Russian if you follow his accent.
Right.
And I had to learn the difference between the dialects and everything. So it's a whole, that's why I said voiceover acting isn't just that simple. You have to understand dialect, accents, fluctuation of certain words for certain people, and what does that person does. So you have to have still backstory. So it's still acting. You can't walk away from it. Same as when you do public speaking. You still can't walk away from your subject matter.
Yeah. Right.
And you still have to have some feeling to it. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Okay. Well, where can somebody get some more information about you? If somebody wants to join up for your classes, if we've inspired anybody to pursue you for any kind of reason, where can they find you?
Well, right now they can go to Fandom to Stardom. You know, that's fandomstardom.com, and they can go to Instagram and or Facebook. And then they can come to me to davidtho.com. That's David, THEOH.com. And it's all the same on Instagram and Facebook. And I actually talk one-on-one to the people, so we never get away, and so does the rest of the team. So any of the questions when it comes to writing, directing, sales, marketing, promotion, all of us got you covered. It's like literally everything we got in-house. And then we're going to start doing the classes. You know, as soon as people want to sign up, we got one-on-ones. We got where they can do web series, or they can actually do Skype or Uvu or whatever to talk to us one-on-one, face-to-face, you know, stuff like that. So it's different ways that we can get them. They don't have to physically come to the building if they can't get there.
I love it. Any more shout-outs? Any more shout-outs, guys?
Well, I don't know. You got some? I got some people, but I'm
What we got like 2 minutes? We got 1 minute? We got 1 minute. We got 1 minute for shout.
Watch this. Here we go. What's up, my man Burl at Game Time Fitness? What's up to the rest of the team that just won first place? My man won 4 place trophies for male muscle man. Can you dig it? Her rawness, what's happening with your love? Does the music make you want to rap and sing? And to my people that's out there in the community for Fandom to Stardom, my team, what has happened though? Let me go, let's go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, man. You heard it here. You heard it next at CoPlay Media.
You've been listening to CoPlay Media with hosts Diers and Demo. For more information on CoPlay Media and the Blerd community, visit CoPlayMedia.com or the CoPlay Media page at dc.radio.gov.
Carefree, kinda like bad dads on the daily. I deadbeat misery to the weak, only strong survive. The longest ride is life, it's a journey we ride into forever. Needs a designated driver. Destination in the clouds, I'm a skydiver. Looking for my princess, Bowser and the lava. Everybody raps, but ain't nobody liver. Not at all. So my plan's intact. Do you get the point? They think I'm on my mind when I pass on the joint, but I'm just being blunt. Yo, I'm high off life, American pie. I chose not to bite off a slice that went over their head like cars under red lights. You ain't saying nothing with your dead mics. I seen the people that I love change. Oh, you relate? I'm guessing it's a love thing. Yes. My life's like graduation, embarking on a permanent vacation, and I'ma say to the day I wouldn't have it no other way. Okay, hey, so I'm taking a stroll, yeah. So I'm taking a stroll, yeah. I don't know where I'ma go, though. I just hope that it's close, yo. Look, knowledge of Egyptians cause I'm pointing out the fictions. Got them feeling guilty, receiving my conviction. So listen till it's over. After this, I'ma recline with a dime like loose change in the sofa. But I'm just trying to pepper like salt shakers. Add Ed and Eddie, we used to be jawbreakers with the lawbreakers running wild in the field, getting high. Asking if heaven is real. Dreaming about getting deals and spending meals on the cars with the nice wheels. But as I got older, realized that the price kills like discounts. You better hurry before the train comes. Still see the scars even when the pain's numb. I know some wise men who choose to remain dumb. Talking full amount, confirmed change really ain't come. But I'ma chill, won't resort to the madness. Kick my feet up tonight, listen to some Gladys. My life's like graduation. I'm working on a permanent vacation. And I'ma save for the day. I wouldn't have it no other way. Okay, hey. So I'm taking a stroll, yeah. So I'm taking a stroll. Yeah. I don't know where I'ma go, though. I just hope that it's close, yo. Check it. It almost feels like I'm living that good life, yes indeed. All I need is my dreams and the blue Mountain Dew with a breezy under these trees. Lift my feet and I'ma take my time to take my rights, but I'ma take my mind. We gon' find the sunshine even when it ain't close. Simple things always mean the most. Oh, oh, I'm just watching the wind blow and time flies by. FYI what you in for? It's life rekindle. She read the subtext. Wanna just chill, but she think I want some sex. Typical losers got a mind en route to a dead end, but my friend, this ain't about you. See how this day looks? It's my vacation. Future's unknown, but later we'll solve that equation. So relax. My life's like graduation. I'm working on a permanent vacation. And I'ma save for the day. I wouldn't have it no other way. Okay, hey. So I'm taking a stroll, yeah. So I'm taking a stroll. Yeah. I don't know where I'ma go, though. I just hope that's close.
Okay, guys, we gotta put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no picking.
We're just 15th in line for takeoff.
Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
As a social worker, you can become an advocate for those who can't. Earn your master's in social work degree online to learn strategies to connect diverse populations with the critical resources they need to improve their well-being, whether it's in a hospital, community service agency, or another setting. What do you think making a difference as a social worker looks like? GCU offers over 250 high-quality online programs like this one. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.